It's Monday, May 11th. Here's the latest update. After a week of online learning, classrooms at university campuses across the UAE are open again today, with students and teachers returning in person. School buses are back on the roads and exams are also continuing as scheduled. Over the weekend, UAE air defences intercepted 2 drones launched from Iran on Sunday. No injuries were reported. At the same time, negotiations around a possible agreement between Iran and the United States are continuing, although tensions remain high. Iran has now responded to the latest US peace plan, but President Trump has criticised Tehran's position. In business news, Dubai developer Emaar has reported a strong start to the year, with profits jumping 35% in the first quarter as demand across Dubai's property market continues despite the wider regional tensions. And emergency crews in Dubai responded to a major
At this time last week, President Trump was saying that the talks with Iran were going very well and that oil prices would come down soon. But then this Sunday, he rejected Iran's latest offer, calling it totally unacceptable, and warned that after years of laughing at the U.S., Iran, quote, will be laughing no longer.
With no agreement in sight and gas topping an average of $4.52 a gallon, Trump officials for the first time this weekend floated the idea of pausing the national gas tax. Georgia, Indiana, and Utah have already reduced or suspended state gas taxes. Putting the brakes on the federal tax would save drivers roughly 18 cents a gallon, but it would cost the federal government about $500 million each week. Critical funds for highway construction and repairs and other transit projects. Still, it could be a bit of relief for Americans who are spending 52% more to fill up the tank.
That's ridiculous. It's like $70.
The 2026 World Cup is the biggest in history. 48 teams, 104 games, 3 host nations, and only one country lifts that trophy on July 19th at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Here are the top 5 favorites to win it all. At number 5, we have Portugal. Portugal are arriving at the 2026 World Cup as reigning Nations League champions with serious momentum behind them. Cristiano Ronaldo will be playing in his 6th and most likely final World Cup. And at 41 years old, this is his absolute last chance to win the one trophy that has escaped him his entire career. That motivation alone makes Portugal dangerous. 4, we have Argentina. The defending champions are back, and they are dangerous. Lionel Messi, at 38 years old, is playing what will almost certainly be the final World Cup of his legendary career, and you simply do not want to be the team standing between him and the perfect ending to the greatest story.
The British Army parachuted onto one of the most remote islands in the world to provide medical support after a UK national is suspected to have hantavirus. The government said Sunday 6 paratroopers and 2 clinicians launched operations to the overseas territory of Tristan da Cunha, a small island in the South Atlantic Ocean with a population of around 200 people. Oxygen supplies and other medical equipment were dropped simultaneously. The island, Britain's most remote inhabited overseas territory, has no airstrip and is normally only accessible by boat. The UK Health Security Agency said the suspected person was on the cruise ship linked to the hantavirus outbreak and got off onto the island. The UK HSA told CNN it could not give more information on the suspected case, including the exact date the person left the ship. It marks the first time the UK military has parachuted in medics for humanitarian support.
Turn now to the dramatic video of that security breach at Denver International Airport. A Frontier Airlines plane hitting and killing a person on the runway. We do want to warn you that some viewers may find this video disturbing. Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
Tonight, new surveillance video showing the deadly collision between a person and a Frontier Airlines plane speeding down the runway ready for takeoff. Authorities say the person seen here scaled a fence near the runway and made it onto the tarmac at Denver International Airport just before midnight Friday. Just 2 minutes later, that passenger plane with 231 people and more than 21,000 pounds of fuel on board runs over the pedestrian.
There was an individual walking across the runway. We've got smoke in the aircraft. We're going to evacuate on the runway.
The impact sparking an engine fire, filling the cabin with smoke and forcing pilots to slam on the brakes and abort takeoff, a move that may have prevented an aviation disaster.
Tower Frontier 4 4345. We're stopping on the runway. We just hit somebody.
Passengers scrambling down emergency slides.
This is not looking good. International tourists are staying away from the U.S. for the World Cup. In a new survey, nearly 80% of U.S. hotel managers in World Cup host cities say that bookings are coming in below original forecasts. In Kansas City, which is hosting 6 games, 90% of hotel managers say that fewer people are booking rooms than in a typical summer without a major event. It's a result of absurdly high ticket prices and anti-American sentiment. About 7 in 10 hotel managers surveyed said that visa barriers and geopolitical concerns were significantly reducing demand.
The president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, promised 104 Super Bowls, but it's looking more like Pop-Tart Bowls.
Watching Russia's Victory Day parade this weekend, you might think that that country is as powerful as it ever was. But in fact, this year's parade was dramatically scaled back from years past. The event commemorating the country's World War II victory over Nazi Germany is considered a centerpiece of President Vladimir Putin's rule, and it usually features a dizzying display of missiles and tanks. But this was the first time since 2007 that hardware was absent. You see, Russia is in trouble. The Kremlin attributed the scaled-back parade to Ukrainian terrorist activity. Many observers suggest that the change was due to potential drone strikes from Ukraine targeting military hardware during rehearsals. This week, a Ukrainian drone hit a high-rise apartment building in Moscow, about 5 miles from Red Square, where the parade takes place. And Ukraine has been stepping up drone and missile strikes deep.
Good morning from a rainy White House. It's the beginning of a consequential week, highly consequential week. President Trump has now firmly rejected the latest counteroffer from the Iranians, calling it totally unacceptable. And keep in mind, this is a counteroffer from the Iranians that he had been waiting for more than a week. They had kept him waiting to get this response, and he found it totally unacceptable. Does not provide a roadmap, the White House says, to any kind of a resolution of the nuclear issue, and Iran is still demanding a complete end to the war, a lifting of sanctions, unfreezing of assets, a lot that the White House finds highly objectionable before getting to a final agreement. There had been talk last week that the two sides were nearing on a 30-day opening of the Strait of Hormuz to allow for
20 years. 20 years in the making it has taken for Arsenal to get back in the Champions League final. This is incredible. This is a mad story because you think about the game in 2006 where they went in there as underdogs. And I think if you speak to every Arsenal fan, that is the first heartbreaks of their lives. And they are going to want to right the wrongs of that era. I saw Thierry Henry talk to Saka and say, we were in the Invincibles, you guys go and be the Unforgettables. And that is the task at hand for this team. They could make history. They could join Manchester United and Man City as the only teams in England to win the Champions League and the Premier League in the same season. And it is incredible when you think about it because the way we speak on Arsenal this year, it's always kind of been in a disappointment. But we have 4 games to go and Arsenal are in a final of the Champions League and they are the leaders of the Premier League. We are in the midst of a historic season and I just think I don't have them as the favourites, but it's a Champions League.
Go to our dumping sites. Destroy our environment, open air burning, air pollution, and our beaches are dirty. So then...
Already? You're not waiting your turn.
And we make order. Excuse me, everybody. Hey! I'm sorry, guys. But it's impossible to speak about culture, to have people like that super inspired coming here, making a speech with such a noise. So this is a total lack of respect. So I suggest, if you want to have bilaterals or speak about somebody else, something else, you have bilateral rooms or you go outside. If you want to stay here, we listen to the people. And we play in the same game. Okay? Thank you.